Yeah. Pray for me. Creator, go pray for me. There's not enough money to make. Yeah.
Have you ever been to an Indian reservation? If you have, you probably saw serious poverty and alcoholism and drug abuse. Is it because there's something about Indians that makes them lazy or irresponsible? No. When Indians own their own land, they do about as well as other Americans. When Indians own their own land, they do about as well as other Americans. Manny Jules wants to see more of that. He was chief of the Kamloops Indian Band in Canada for 16 years. Manny, why are so many Indians so poor?
Well, first of all, John, nobody chooses poverty. One of the things that's happened is we've been legislated out of the economy by the federal governments, both in the United States and Canada.
What do you mean they've been taking care of you? That sounds like the best deal.
By taking care of us, that means providing social welfare programs. The only way to break the cycle of poverty, I believe, is by the recognition that every other Canadian and American takes for granted, and that's real property rights.
So in Canada, as in much of the U.S., reserves are owned by the government.
Yes.
So the Indian has some piece of paper that says, this is my lot.
But underlying that title is the fact that in Canada, the federal government owns the land.
So you can't borrow against it.
You can't borrow, you can't get a mortgage, you can't be bonded. There's nothing that you can have that'll allow you to be able to go to the bank on your own without the minister co-signing that.
It's hard to imagine when you look at the vast vistas in the rural West. There's an overcrowding problem here. But there is a problem, and it's big. On tribal lands, even here, social distancing can be hard to do.
I know some of the affected houses out here, like in Eastern, there's like 13, 14 people that live in that house. So of course they're going to get infected, so.
Terry Roberts is purchasing manager on the Wind River Reservation in Wyoming, home to the Eastern Shoshone and the Northern Arapaho tribes.
Housing is limited out here. It took me 6 or 7 years to get to my place, so. And that's after bouncing around from cousin's house to cousin's house, you know.
As Native Americans, you know, we have our sweat lodges that people go into. We do our prayer ceremonies.
Zena Aragon has 7 family members living at her house.
There's a lot of families that are having to live together just for the necessity of paying bills and car payments.
The overcrowded home situation is at least 16 times the national average.
Kevin Alice, CEO of the National Congress of American Indians, says federal funding for housing has been frozen for decades, a violation of old treaties, and now feared as an agent to aid the spread of the virus.